Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, Daisy here. Today we're doing another Black Desert Online video guide, and following up the success of the cooking guide, we're jumping straight into gathering and taking a look about how you do it. How do you go from beginner 1 to in-game gathering, and also why do you want to do it? So first things first, why do you want to do gathering? Well, gathering is one of the best active money makers for life skilling. But more importantly, it ties into cooking and alchemy and a lot of other life skills. So while you can make a lot of AFK money with cooking, as went over in the cooking guide, you can make even more money with your AFK cooking if you spice it up with some active gathering as well. So to take a look at just how much money you can make, even just from gathering, we have here one of my very good friends, BDO. Link will be in the description where you can get this tool as well. There will not be a link to this tool in the description. So you will have to go into BDO's Twitch channel and type !GCalc, and there you will get a link. And of course, while you're there, do not forget to hit follow on his channel and check him out. Amazing guy. Right. So how much money can you make with gathering? Well, this here, let's go into the estimated overview. He's already done a lot of the math, all of it. And we could download the page here and put in our own mastery numbers, but he already have a nice estimate here of 750 mastery, Tier 2 hedgehog, blessings, etc, etc. This is very obtainable, and this is the kind of range we are aiming at early on in gathering, right? So if we're looking at these numbers here, we can go in and we can just check out the numbers here. The most interesting one is the money per hour without using potions. Gathering something as simple as, let's go down to wolf meat. We will be covering that later in the video. Wolf meat, around 120 million silver per hour. That is pretty damn good. That on its own is really good value. Now, the reason we are taking some time to look into gathering today is because we covered cooking in the previous video, and this here is the next step. Following the cooking guide I put out, you don't really have to do any gathering, but if you want to take your cooking to the next level, make more money, dive deeper into cooking, explore it yourself, and make really good money on it, you gotta do some gathering. And as you can see, the actual gathering itself is really valuable, and you can just multiply that value by using it into your cooking. Now, when you get further down into the real in-game gathering levels, the 2000 masteries, the T4 hedgehog and everything, the numbers are quite different. You are looking at some of the absolute best silver per hour in the game. So long-term, investing into gathering now, starting doing it, you can make a lot of silver down the line. Right, so first things first. I get the question all the time. How much mastery do I need to start gathering? And it's a bit of a weird question, but at the same time understand it. But look at it this way. I, funny enough, never get the question, how much AP do I need to start grinding? Just like if you have 301 AP, you're gonna make more silver power grinding than you would with 245 AP. Now that doesn't mean that you shouldn't grind when you got 245 AP. And it's the exact same with gathering and cooking and any life skill really. You gotta start somewhere. So the best way to start with gathering is looking to get a few lodger items. Again, if you already have a lot of silver stored up, maybe you're in the mid game, late game in the game, and you want to pick up gathering and cooking and all that, you can afford to buy higher tiers and higher levels of the lodger accessories and outfits, etc. Maybe even mana stuff. But assuming you're just starting out, you're looking at the minimum, the bare minimum, the easy accessible stuff. Now, if you already started doing cooking, you might already have your lodger accessories. Now, if you don't have lodger accessories, you go right here to Camilla Lodger, and she's located right next to Villa in Lodger Farm. You just talk to this vendor right here, go to the shop, make sure you have some silver on you, and you can buy all the Loggia stuff you need. You also have the Loggia accessories, 1 million each. And of course, if you can enhance it, that's good. But if this is all you can afford, just get that. You do want to get a Loggia gathering outfit as well. And as you can see, it's only 1 million silver as well. So we're just gonna buy that. To enhance the outfit, you need this item here, a black gem. Now, I would advise you to first off, check the marketplace. If you can afford some of the enhanced accessories, they're not that expensive. Try is extremely good value. Ted is super good value as well, but quite a bit more silver. Now let's look at the outfit here. There's only one currently, so they might be a bit harder to buy. So you might have to enhance one yourself. Now, Prio, totally fine, and it's not gonna cost you too much. The beautiful thing about enhancing life skill and gear, except for the tool, is that they're using this item here, the black gems. Now, what's so great about that? Well, first of all, fill sacks don't work and you can't cron it. So you literally just put it in and you start clicking. And I'm just gonna keep going here until I'm out of the ability. But you wanna try and get it to Prio, perhaps do. Right, plus 15, it requires the concentrated blackstones. And to make those, again, check out your Black Spirit safe. I know I have a few here. There we go, we got 3. Alternative, you use your black gems with a hard and a sharp. Again, we're just gonna throw it in here. And we're just gonna enhance. Again, fill stacks don't work, they don't matter for this kind of thing here. So we're just gonna enhance it with the 3 stones we have. Awesome. Prio, that's fine. You do not have to repair the item. It can be at 5 durability and it will be perfectly fine. It's not gonna break when you're gathering. If you need to repair along the way, you simply just talk to the vendor here and you buy however many you need. Well, there it is. To repair the outfit, you just talk to our blacksmith, go repair, recover max durability. We're gonna find the outfit here and you just use the same type based on enhanced and it will repair 10 durability at a time. So you just click this in, recover max durability, bam. No need for memory fragments or anything else like that. You literally get 10 durability for 1 million silver. It does not get cheaper than that. Now, you're probably wondering, what about the tool? Because I did not go over that when we're talking about the Loggia tool. And while there are Loggia tools, and down the line is something you should definitely consider getting, if not Mana's tools, there is another option which is way better when you're starting out. And right next to Caltheon, we got Northern Wheat Plantation. And right here, talking to Normal Light, you can rent a tool. And it costs 50 contribution points. So you talk to her, you chat. Now the question is, of course, what tools should you get? And what's so special about these tools? Now, these tools that you rent, they are basically TED Loggia tools, but they also have a bonus component of increased gathering EXP. And when we're leveling up gathering here, that is super good to have because that is our first priority. Now, the different tools work for different stuff. So the pickaxe is used for gathering stone, butchering knife is used for butchering animals for meat, tanning for skins, not really used. Fluid collector, you can use it for saps on trees or blood from animals. And the lumbering axe is used to chop down trees. But the one we are after is the hoe. And the reason for that is the most important thing to get when you start out gathering is getting Master 1. Now, why is that? Well, when you're leveling up your levels in gathering, ignoring completely mastery, just the levels in it, you have an increased chance of not spending energy when you're gathering. And that chance caps out at 30% at Master 1. And Master 1 is actually surprisingly easy to get. So in my opinion, you wanna rent the hoe and all your energy in the beginning should be going into getting Master 1. When gathering for EXP, the absolute best thing to gather is wild herbs. And there is a couple of spots around the map that are super good for that, but the most common and the most popular one, and the one I use personally, is what we call the bear spot. And the reason for that is south of Caltheon, you have this town called Bear, and right here, as you see the water is crossing, that's where you want to go. Now, before we start, there is one thing that's very important. When you are gathering, you want to minimize the gathering time as much as possible, and the only way you're going to do that is with two things. The number one is using a gathering tool that has minus 11 seconds, and luckily this one has that. You can also get minus 10, etc, etc, but the best you can get is minus 11 seconds. Now, the second thing is getting gathering level. Now, in this gear, I have +0 gathering level, but I have +3 from my guild bonus. Now, assuming you don't have +3 from your guild bonus, how do you get +5 gathering speed? Now, the way you want to do it is you want to get a spirit stone. Super important, not only for the +2 gathering, but also for the 10% drop rate. You can buy these in plenty on the auction house. So you want to have that on. The second thing you want to have is seafood cron meal. This here is going to give you +2 more gathering, and it costs 1 silver. You can buy it at the Oasis vendor near the stable keeper in any of the major towns. And lastly, you're missing 1. Now, you can get that from pets. Certain pets can have +1 gathering if you are lucky to get that on their skills, or you make sure that you're using Virtutraft. And when you're gathering for EXP, you want to use this anyway, simply for the EXP increase. So getting the +5 in the current state of the game is basically a given. So as you can see, I'm on an alt at the moment, beginner 1 gathering, using the items that I showed you in the beginning. So basically a bare bone minimum. And I'll use this to give you guys an idea about just how much EXP you're actually gonna make while showing you the optimal rotation, at least the rotation that I'm using personally when I'm gathering on my main as well. So the first thing that's very important to maximize your gathering speed, especially here at Bear, you really don't have to use it elsewhere, but it's very, very good here, is using mouse to move. So you want to go into your settings, you want to go into your interface, your mouse interface, and make sure you have use mouse to move enabled. Now click control and you can use the mouse. As you see here, when I'm mousing over an object that I can interact with, the cursor changes to one of those speaking bubbles. Now what that allows me to do is have increased range on my interactions. Now if I right click, I'll be able to interact with the object, and then I can just click R. So we're going to use this to be able to gather like objects far away. We'll be able to stay in one position, minimize the travel time and everything. It's super comfy once you get a hang of it. It's definitely worth spending some time just feeling out and using. Once you have a hang of it, you cannot live without it. Right. So the rotation I'm doing, let's just pop all this off. Food, Virtutraft, and I'm not using any pets either. You do want to get a hedgehog eventually. The hedgehog here, T4, is worth it down the line. If you're going for T4 pet ever, the hedgehog should be a #1 priority. It works just like a normal pet, but it also has a chance of proccing double gathering. Extremely good. It does not scale with mastery, but still extremely good. We're taking all our pets away for this one here, just to give you guys an idea. Having this one out here, you should be able to see. I have like specific spots where I'm standing together because I know I can hit all the herbs in that area. So this is the rotation I'm using, again, right next to the bridge here. So we're gonna walk up here. You can see the gathering bar here, and you just wanna mouse over the next one already. And currently I'm just spamming R. So I'm already mousing over the next herb as soon as I start the gathering bar. So I don't really waste time, and I can just keep spamming R. And this is the last one, right? And we just move over here.
But it goes so fast, all tied up like a captain.
And there we go, guys. One rotation, and you obviously just keep going around and doing the same thing. And we're already at Princeton 6. Didn't spend too much energy on it as well. No pets, so no bonus EXP for that. And as you see, it's very quick and fast to do. When you are cooking, doing the cooking on your way to Guru 1, you don't have to gather anything for that. So what I would suggest is use your daily energy and go down here and gather. It's very close to Caltheon as well. So if you're doing it on the same character, it's very convenient. You will regen more energy while you're doing the cooking. Full energy, go down here. Now, what do you do with all the materials you're gathering? While you're out here gathering, you will very likely run into weight issues before you run out of energy. I know I do that on my main. So in the beginning, I think it's perfectly fine to just take these trade items. They are extremely heavy, and just trash them. Throw them away when you need more weight in your inventory space. And later on, you do want to keep them because you can sell them when you stock up enough over time. But in the beginning, just trash them, no harm, no foul. Now, when you fill up your inventory and you need to empty it, even with all that, I personally just write out to Trent and throw them in the storage. And as you can see here, I still have a lot of herbs laying around from previous gathering sessions. I just throw everything in there and then I take it out whenever I need it for different things. One thing I do want to touch on is doing things at your own pace. Now, I do suggest that you focus all your energy on gathering herbs until you are Master 1. However, if you need to get some meat for your cooking, if you want to try out alchemy, if you need stones to make utensils, by all means, go out and gather some of that. Use your energy for that. There's no need to burn yourself out doing one thing. If you need something else, then go and gather that. And the beautiful thing about starting out by using these rented tools is that if you need, say, a butchering knife to go and gather some meat for some cooking, you can turn this in, rent a butchering knife, do your butchering, and get the hoe back for when you need to go and work more on your levels. So that is exactly what we're going to do now. We are going to turn in our gathering hoe, and we're going to pick up our butchering knife, and we are going to go and take a look at what to gather and where to gather it to tie into the cooking and figure out the best way of making our own meals if we want to expand on our guru cooking from last guide. Now that we are out here gathering for value, money, or materials, I think it's important that we take a look at Bedrock's calculator again. Now, when you get into gathering, you don't have to use it for cooking or alchemy. You can also just sell the materials. And you might want to take a look at the spreadsheet here to find out like what's the best value to gather. And as you can see, it updates live using an API of the course on the marketplace. Now, it's very important to note that this data is compiled using a Valkyrie for gathering and gathering at pretty much perfect gathering speed, which pretty much only people like Bedrock is able to do. Now, if we take a look here, we'll see that elks are better silver power than gathering wolves. Now, that depends on your class, and this is important to note as well, and also like how you prefer to gather and all that. But a great example is here, I use a witch, that's my main gatherer. So for gathering up mobs, different classes have different tools. And for witch, we have an ability here called the Magic Lighthouse. So when we are throwing that down, it works as an aggro. So we're gonna put it down here and you'll see the wolves will gather up, and that's gonna make it extremely easy for me to just stand still and gather using my mouse gathering once again. So do take that into account when you're looking at what spot to gather from. Don't all base it on that spreadsheet. You will definitely see different numbers doing the gathering yourself. Now, the different spots here, we have foxes, great for red meat, awesome right next to the Ancient Stone Chamber. Right next to Ancient Stone Chamber, you have these 3 nodes here, right? In between those, filled with wolves. So if any of these spots are taken, you just go to another one. There is no inherent difference between the meat you get from wolves, foxes, deer. It's all what we call red meat, and they will substitute perfectly fine in recipes. From the foxes, we are gonna hit over here, right on the other side of the road, and we'll find a lot of wolves, several packs all around. The third spot in basically the same zone is again just north of here, south of M Cave, crossing the road, and you go over here, and as you can see, filled with wolves. The last red meat we're going to take a look at is the bear elks, and they are just south of Bear in this forest area. And as you can see, they are literally spilling onto the roads because there are that many, which is one of the reasons it is, for some classes, the best red meat spot in the game. And for me personally, as a witch, I don't gather from these. I use wolves pretty much exclusively. And for the simple reason is I don't have a vacuum that don't deal damage. So if I try to use my grouping tool, which is a taunt ability, they just run away. When you're looking to make the Valencia meals, one of the things you pretty much have to gather is lion meat. And you do that out here in Valencia, just west of the harbor, close to Valencia City. And you can autopath out here and you don't need a compass or anything. So you want to go to this spot right here next to the icon on the map. And when you're out here, the rotation that I'm personally using is right here. Lions are very spread out, so it's a bit harder to gather than a lot of other stuff. But you want to gather them up here, and you're going over here afterwards. Go back down here, and we are back to where we started. So the last 2 meats we need for our Valencia meal is snake meat and scorpion meat. And just like the lion meat, it's pretty much always sold out on the marketplace. So if you want to make your own Valencia meals, you'll have to go out and do some gathering. And this rotation right here, south of Zero Ruins, has both scorpions and snakes. So that is the one I personally use when I need to make my Valencia meals. So I'm gonna do a rotation now. It's a bit more tricky with this one. The mobs are more spread out. So I'll do a rotation and you guys can see how I do it.
Me and look so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything we said we'd be, we just traded for a suit coat and a tie.
And we're back. This video was very much focused on getting a gathering level up and then how to use this for cooking. But just like with everything in BDO, there is so much more to it than just this. But if you find this interesting and you want to dive more into gathering and look for different revenues and avenues of making money with gathering, I definitely suggest checking out Bedrock's calculator. And also feel free to drop by my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/BiceptimusPrime if you got any questions. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next one.